And in the YouTube, oh gosh, I have to hit the go live. It didn't turn on. All right. Well, hey YouTube, sorry about that. Welcome. Yeah, it's me, JP. It's time for JP's product pick of the week, and I gotta hit all the go live buttons there. It was probably live on Twitch, maybe some other places, but now it should be good to go on YouTube as well. So, before I go any further, I want to tell you, head on over to the product page where you will find this week's product pick of the week. So head to this URL. It's Adafruit product ID 5020. You can also go to that QR code if you want to point a camera at it and have your browser take you there. And when you head on over there, you're going to see that we've got a 50% off discount right now on this very product. But before I get ahead of myself, why don't we have Lady Ada tell us what it is?
It's a USB key and a Trinkey, like our SAMD21 board. So it's a USB-A connector, and it just has like the minimum stuff to run Arduino or CircuitPython with a SAMD chip on it, which is the same as the Trinkey chip. It's a SAMD21 E18. Cortex M0 running at 48 megahertz with 32K of RAM, 256K of flash. So it's a super overpowered Arduino, or kind of like the bare minimum CircuitPython you need to do this. There's capacitive touch on the end. There's a NeoPixel, that's what the Neo stands for. And then there's a solder spot for a single MX compatible key. It's not a socket. You have to solder the key in because the key would just flop right out. So you have to solder it in. And at the end, there's a little slot for you can tie it to something. So it's just one key. You can use a super low profile KL Choco key, but just note that we don't stock those. But anything that's MX compatible, with the big center dot and then the two holes you solder in, you get a reset button and the NeoKey, NeoPixel. And then you could program it to be anything. And in CircuitPython, we have a bunch of example code. Arduino, we also have example code. You want it just to be a mute button. You want it to auto launch something. You want it to just type out some emojis. Whatever you want. Maybe you have an old MacBook and you want the escape key back on your computer. Add a single key.
All right, well, you know what? I want to go grab one, so I'm going to head over to my mystery cabinet and pull one out of the drawer. I'll be right back. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I've got it now. Hey, look, there's the product pick of the week. It is the NeoKey Trinkey. And we've got that cute little guy, the NeoKey Trinkey Armadillo. I don't know if he's got a name other than NeoKey Trinkey. And this is really cool. This is like a USB key or a thumb drive, but it accepts a keyboard key switch, mechanical key switch. You solder it onto there, and it's got the capacitive touch on the end. So this is essentially a trinket as far as the main chip on there. It's an ATSAMD21, and it really just has the pins broken out that you need to light up one NeoPixel that's at the bottom of that. It underlights the key, use a mechanical key switch, and use the capacitive touch. So what I'd love to do is demo this for you. Here's a, I'm going to switch cameras here real quick. Let's, how about that one right there? Okay, so here you're going to see I've got a Raspberry Pi 400 computer sitting right here. And what I'm going to do is pop open Discord. And let's see if I can fit over there. Hey, look, all these things fit on the screen. So the way I have this configured right now is it's going to do a couple things for me. When I press it, it's going to type something into Discord. And I might need to get my Discord on the Raspberry Pi set up. Oh, hold on one second. Am I not looking at the right one? Let's see. Oh yeah, there it goes. I just didn't see it update here. What's going on? Am I in the wrong? I'm in the off topic. 1 second. I've got the Raspberry Pi window up over here too. Okay, stand by. I'm going to live broadcast. There we are. Okay. Are you ready for this? I think I'm ready for it now. So the way I have it set up, this is going to, when I press it, enter in my toe beans emoji. And so if you didn't know, in Discord and other chat platforms, you can often type something to use an emoji. So in this case, toe beans, enter, will add a toe beans emoji for you. So now I can press this to my heart's content, and I can spam a whole bunch of toe beans at you. Don't do this yourself. You will probably get booted off of our Discord or at least timed out. I had a special switch thrown by Mr. Certainly and Katney, so thank you for helping me prepare for that. And I've also got, you'll see when I press it, it switches colors. And then when I release it, it goes back to this little pink color. I also have the capacitive touch at the very end of the key there. You can see it, that little copper part. If I touch that, each time I touch that, it's going to enter in a keyboard emoji, but I don't have it automatically hitting enter for me. And I'll show you the code in a second so you can see that. So this means I can, you'll notice it switches to yellow every time I tap that, and that entered in a whole string of that one emoji, which is the keyboard emoji in this case. So first thing, let's take a look at the product page itself. So I'm going to hop over here, and you can see there it is, the Adafruit NeoKey Trinkey. We have a series of Trinkeys. This is the NeoKey version. And right now, if I refresh this, you can see it is half off. It is in stock, so you haven't bought them all out yet, which is good. Sometimes that happens during this show, which we love, because selling products, well, you know, that's how we keep Adafruit going, how we keep these lights on in here. So half off right now, maximum of 10, but you can get it for $3.48, which is a real steal. You will also need to get a mechanical key switch and a key cap. So we sell those. They're out of stock right now, but you can get them all over the place. It just needs to be MX compatible, and a MX compatible keycap for the top of it as well. If you scroll down here, you will note we don't, I believe, yet have a learn guide. This will be coming, but I was able to, without too much trouble, use a very simple bit of code to press a key and change the NeoPixel color. So let's take a look at that code right now. Let's head over to Atom here, and I'll throw that in the background. So let me grab my Atom. So you can see here what's going on. I'm importing some libraries, including board, which gives me the pin definitions. I'm importing the digital I/O library so I can use the button as a switch. And I'm importing touch I/O so that I can use that little cap touch copper pad at the end. There's just one of them on this, unlike the regular Neo Trinkey, which has two of them at the end, the one that has the 4 LEDs. And then I'm also importing HID, USB HID keyboard layout so that I can type things in, and NeoPixel. Then I set up the touch pin right here, touch equals touch IO, touch in board.touch. And then I'm setting up a little state variable that I can flip back and forth between so I know when I'm tapping it. It's essentially like a debounce. It'll only detect the edges when I rise or fall. Same with the key switch. I set that up on the board switch pin and use that as a pull down, input pull down, which I like because then the value goes true when I press the button. And same thing, I have a little state variable here. Set up the keyboard as a USB HID device with the layout that I'm going to use, and then I set up a few colors here, pink, cyan, and yellow. Then we're setting up the NeoPixel here. Again, it's just board NeoPixel. There's one NeoPixel on the board. And that's it for the setup. Then in the main part of the program, doing the same thing kind of twice. So I run through this for the button and I run through this for the touchpad. I check to see if that value has changed, and if it has, I check if it's down, it's being pressed, in which case I set the color to cyan. I then send out this keyboard command, keyboard layout right, and then in quotes, whatever it is I want to type. So this could be a paragraph if you want. It could be a password. In my case, I've got toe beans, which types that toe beans emoji, little cat paw emoji. And then I'm also pressing the enter key, and that's why it automatically sends when I use that button. Then I release the key. And then when I actually release the mechanical key switch, we set this back to pink, and I'm printing out to the serial monitor that I've released it. And then I switch that state variable so that we can always just keep track of an edge detection. And then basically the same thing happens for the touchpad. The main difference being I decided to turn off this enter thing so that way I could tap it multiple times and get a bunch of keyboards in a row. This could be any emoji you want. It can also be individual key presses. So that's just a key code A, key code 1. You can do combinations, Control, Shift, and a key code. All those are possible. So this is really good for things like mute buttons, changing the volume. You could maybe go up with the button and down with the cap switch. So you've got the two inputs on there, which is pretty useful. And that's it. That's as simple as the program is. So if you take a look again, let me jump back over to Discord here, and I'm going to just check that my Raspberry Pi is awake and still in that window. Yeah, it is. Okay, so here you'll see I just added in a couple of keyboards with my touchpad, and then when I pressed the actual physical button, we got the kitty paw. Press that again, get a single kitty paw. So it's endless fun, and it even has the little loop cut out of it so that you can carry it around like a keychain. In fact, let me show this one. This was kind of cool. You can put any keycap you want on these, but there are keycaps that are particularly good for a shine-through LED. This is one that I just pulled off of a video controller board that happens to have a button called Park, which I thought was cool. And so you'll see here, if I plug this into a little USB hub, this is the default code that ships on it, which is just a rainbow color change on the NeoPixel while you're holding the cap touch switch. And then the button isn't actually doing anything here. But those are really nice because then you get a nice glow through. You'll find these often on your keyboard as a scroll lock key. Sometimes the escape key will have that little window through it. So look around. You may have some old keys that you can scavenge for a cool glow through. This is our little, by the way, this is a little bonus thing that I threw on here. Let me go back to my browser for a second. This is a black aluminum kitty paw keycap with translucent silicone toes. And I can pull that off of here. You can see that's what it looks like when it's not all lit up. And it has this silicone translucent material here that's where our glow comes from. If you put this in the other way, depending on orientation you have things, you get the little beans. I never noticed that. It looks kind of like a weird little dude. Kind of cool little dude with big fat legs. Switch that around. There you can see there's just the bare switch glowing there. So if I press that, I probably just entered a bunch of emoji into the chat. So let me see. Speaking of the chat, let me see if there's anything going on over there. Any questions? And no, just mostly me pressing my toe beans thing. Todd says, program an entire essay into it, then plug your professor's computer, open Word, press on the key to type your paper in for them while they're watching. That's a great idea. I love that. C. Grover feels seen. We picked his password. The Twitch stream is higher resolution than the YouTube right now. That's interesting. I don't know what's going on. Curious. Yeah, Doctor says you could do Control-Alt-Delete button. Right, so the fact that you can do any sort of HID thing, so this can be MIDI stuff. You could have a MIDI panic button. You'll notice here on my Raspberry Pi, this works really well on this Raspberry Pi 400. I'm going to unplug that because this fits into one of these slots really nice and snug. Some slots you'll notice, like on this hub, they'll have a little give to them. This will wiggle a little bit. So you can decide how you're going to set it up. If it's a semi-permanent thing, a little bit of hot glue would work, and you can always get hot glue off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It just pops it right off of there. So there are many options, but that is, if I plug this back in, that should light back up for me there. Bing, there it is. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of JP's Product Pick of the Week. I hope you enjoyed the little demo, and maybe go and get yourself some if they're still available on the store. You can, like I said, head over to that URL right there and check them out. It's 50% off right now during the live stream. Later, it'll be back up to regular price, but not too expensive either way. So that's my product pick of the week. It is the NeoKey Trinkey. And it is a mechanical key switch, USB key style trinket with an underlit NeoPixel and capacitive touch. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one over on my product pick wall of goodness. And that's going to do it for another JP's Product Pick of the Week. So thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you next time. And a little promo here. I've got the unboxing for AdaBox 18 happening tomorrow night. So that's going to be during the normal Ask an Engineer time slot. So tune in. It'll be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And if you've got an AdaBox and you want to play along and open your box up along with me on the show, please do that. So that's going to do it. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.